Rob mentioned about Strava has a commute button. Is there anything Ben could do with those of us who commute? And I know that you can already filter out the commutes and so on, can't you?
Yes, it's just a column in there. In terms of what you do with them, I don't really know how to make commutes any more exciting.
The other question Rob asked was about Zwift, wasn't it?
So I can very quickly show something around that. So Zwift's really cool. I like Zwift, and the great thing about Zwift is that it hasn't been real places. So in terms of whether you upload it to Strava, it didn't really matter because it's in some island in the middle of the Pacific. It has become slightly more interesting in terms of they have the Richmond course. So there's two identical segments here in Strava, both for the Richmond course. You'll notice that one of them is a virtual ride, whereas the other one is a ride segment. So Strava have introduced a virtual ride activity type. So as long as all the Zwifting rides are marked up as virtual rides, then they're kept in completely different segments and don't impact the leaderboards. And Zwift have been working with Strava to make sure that when they upload them, they set that. It's not 100% solid because if you look in the ride one, you will still see a few Zwift ones coming through. The whole first page is basically all the pro riders, but if you go down, you'll see that there are still some Zwift ones getting in there. Yeah. Personally, I don't think Zwift is anything to worry about. The ones which are a bit more of a pain are things like this. So if you look at the Poggio descent, so obviously this is the final descent down to San Remo for the Milan San Remo, the first classic of the season, and lots of people ride these using other virtual training software and then upload them to Strava. So at least the Zwift ones are kind of kept out because they're not real places usually, whereas all these ones are real rides and people are uploading them and they're basically the same thing. So this is more of an issue. If we look at the first page here, so this is a ride segment, it's not a virtual ride segment. And I noticed this when I was sorting out the profiles earlier this year. So if we look at some random person in the list here, you can see that they're trading on a tax trainer, but they're there on the leaderboard, and you'll see this on Alpe d'Huez and on lots of things. It's more obvious on descents because basically you can go downhill on a trainer much faster than you can on the road because you don't need to slow down for corners. So that's more of an issue, and I don't know how Strava can get around that in terms of they'd have to get on board with tax and the other trainers to make sure that the data is being marked up as virtual.
Sure. It's a shame because it's genuine contamination of the leaderboards there, isn't it?
That is, yeah, completely. And at least some people are honest enough to admit it in here. The other one's e-bikes as well. And I was on holiday in France in the summer, and we don't get e-bikes around Sheffield apart from people going to the post office. So it was surprising to see all the mountain e-bikes knocking around. And I think that's a bit of an issue in a lot of places.
Absolutely.